I got to go to San Carlos for one of the weekends that we couldn't film. I haven't been there in 25 years. 25 years. It's changed a lot. It's a beautiful, like, kind of equated to Rocky Point, but I think it's better, a ton better. It's more of a beach town feel. There's not really a lot of skyscrapers and resorts like that. There's some. We stayed at one, which was top notch. I definitely recommend it. Forgot the name already, but I can look it up in the map. It was a great time. The food was phenomenal. I did a couple videos for my family members and sent them over. Dude, seafood was fresh. Blew me away how good it was.
Was it cooked seafood or raw?
I had a cocktail. I think it was cooked and then put into this like cocktail mix that they brought in this big tub or a bowl. That was my favorite thing there. Super fresh. You can taste it. It was delicious. It had octopus. It had some other kind of fish. It had shrimp and then scallops. It was just delicious. I had that twice. We went to the same restaurant twice. We were there for a couple of days. And their carne asada places, they were top notch. And what blew me away is I always thought they used corn tortillas. No, everywhere uses flour tortillas. And I'm used to eating corn tortillas, but then after having the flour tortillas down there and the way they make it, it's delicious.
Maybe the tourists liked flour over corn.
I think that, well, I was talking to one of the taco guys and he goes, no, the corn is more, harvest more south, central and south Mexico. There's more of that down there. So that's why they make tortillas out of corn down there. But they don't have the good carne asada down there. He was telling me they make it out of shredded beef and some other stuff down, the more south you go into Mexico. That's okay. Yeah, carne asada is big in like the Sonora and Chihuahua. The border states. Those are famous for carne asada, which is something I got to learn from going to different places up there. So that was pretty cool. And another weekend, we went and saw the solar eclipse in Utah. My wife's family, we went up to stayed a night at St. George, Utah, which is a great place. I'd recommend people to go down there. They have awesome lakes, really cool outdoor stuff. They have Zion's is right by there. There's a lot to do, and that place has grown tremendous as well. It's a fun. I don't want to say town because it feels like a suburb. It's like a Chandler or Gilbert, right? And it's pretty big. They have a couple, like 3 or 4 cities right next to each other, so it's like an East Valley kind of vibe without a downtown. That's all it is. And then we went 2.5 hours up to this place called Monroe. Got to see the eclipse from the old Airbnb we rented right off of Main Street. And what was crazy is that the Saturday morning, like 4 a.m., the air alarm went off, like air raid. Like, you hear from tornadoes and stuff. And like, if you're on a military base, it's like Pearl Harbor. You hear that and you're like, something's happening. And it took us a minute to find out what happened. My wife called the sheriff's department or police department and found out that it was what they use for volunteer firemen in the town. There's a fire in the town next to us that had a pretty bad fire, and they needed to get as many people out there to volunteer and stuff. So that was pretty neat. And that's pretty much, why we took a month off. And now we're back.
Well, let me ask you some questions about San Carlos. First of all, did you feel safe?
I didn't feel threatened, if that makes sense.
But like overall, like safe, like can you walk around just fine?
Yeah, everyone was cool. Even though there's a town called Miramar in between, where, Guaymas is. That's why we went. My grandmother passed away, our grandmother. That's... they live in Guaymas, but they, 2 towns over, San Carlos. Miramar is in the middle. A beautiful little beach town as well. I felt safe, yeah. No, there's no one screwing with you. I felt more threatened by the federales, stopping us, searching the car and stuff. I'm like, oh, is this guy going to throw a bullet in there or something just to screw with us? But those are the only people I, honestly kind of feared. The cartels, there's no cartel. You buy the new toll roads that they have there, they bypass Hermosillo. You go all the way to San Carlos. It's a safer ride or a safer trip to San Carlos than Rocky Point, I felt.
Fascinating. I mean, the news makes it look like cartel runs the entire country of Mexico.
And you know what? I was a victim of the news. I was scared to go back to Mexico. That's why I didn't go back for 25 years.
Oh my God, the news will scare you.
And when you get there, you're like, no, dude, this is like, all these little towns are safe as heck.
It's just like saying here in the U.S., there's parts of Phoenix you don't go to. There's parts of Detroit you don't go to. There's parts of Chicago you just don't go to.
Well, there's parts of Chandler and Gilbert you don't go to.
It's the same deal with Mexico. There's just certain areas you just don't go to. But, I mean, if you're a tourist, though, not too many know where to go. So it's one of those things you have to kind of research and understand where the good, safe vacation spots from
Yeah.
away from all the sketchy places.
San Carlos is definitely, there's a lot of Americans there. You know, you can recognize who they are easily, but they're there to go boating, and, you know, there's beautiful houses. That guy that I talk about, Andy Elliott, he has a house in San Carlos. You know, he does videos there.
Maybe San Carlos is just like right now a current, you know, little gem that they don't
It's
want.
a gem.
They don't
It
want
is a
people to
gem.
know about right now until it
I
starts
wouldn't either.
exploding on
It's-
social media and people start going there.
But you know what? There are resorts that are going up that I saw that they're building. So it's gonna get bigger, but their main streets, it's nicer than Rocky Point. I'll tell you that right now.
It would. The thing is, it could become like the next Rocky Point, right?
Well, I think it was Rocky Point before Rocky Point. It was always a nice little beach town, and I think they're trying to get the more tourism. It's a longer drive, but a lot of people will tell you it's a nicer place. I know a lot of people that prefer San Carlos over Rocky Point.
I think the only way for San Carlos to blow up in popularity is if like a cruise line pulls in there in port.
Yeah, I don't see that yet, but if that happened, wow, yeah.
They do have the ports, like they're out there.
There's
It's
one
just,
in Guaymas, I know that, but no one wants to go to Guaymas.
No, yeah, was Lima still run down?
It's run down. It's a city, you know, and it's heavily populated. It's so much more popular than it was when we were kids. It is so much more populated. The poverty level there it's sad. It is
really?
sad to see how poor that city has turned into.
I mean, well, Bali is very poverty-ish, but people are very happy.
Not
Is it-
in
Guaymas.
Guaymas.
Poverty and just misery.
I don't know. Poor people. If that's all you know. I mean, you're gonna be. I guess you're accustomed to it, and you'll find happiness. You know, you don't have like.
Does Guaymas come off sketchy though?
It can at night. It looks like it can. I know my aunt didn't want to be there at night, so there's a reason. She grew up there. She didn't want to be there at night. It's heavily populated, but I don't know. During the day, it's just it was fine. But Miramar is a pretty beautiful city, and then you have, like I said, San Carlos at night. You felt safe. You know, no one screwed with you.
Yeah,
They
I'm
had
sure there's
bats.
people. I'm sure there's people like on Google searching where San Carlos is. on
San
the
Carlos, Mexico. It's in Sonora. There's bats at night.
map.
There's a little bat in like the Airbnb we're at, like in the corner. Like got a good glimpse of it. I was like, that is a bat. And it's,
Bats don't mess with you, but they're just
they don't,
weird
but
to look at.
they're scary because they do have rabies. You get a bat bite, you don't turn into a vampire. You'll just die. Eventually,
You gotta get to the hospital.
Yeah, you gotta
right
go to the
away.
hospital quick. But that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching our clip. If you want to see more clips like this and you like our views, like the show, click here for some more clips. If you want to hear the whole podcast, watch the whole podcast, click here for the whole podcast. Remember, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll get back to you. Thank you, and have a great day.